it's almost time where we will start.
Okay.
I'll be transferring the host to you while Mr. Emmanuel will be sharing with us while we're here.
All right.
Yes, we'll be there while we're here, and we would also introduce the guest, our Mr. Emmanuel has gone offline. Everyone, my name is Oyedeji Johnson, and the webinar, the first of its kind, which is being handled and coordinated by the Christian education. So the Christian education department is hosting this webinar, and the chief host happens to be the literacy department. While or the coordinator, Mr. to also join in. So without wasting much of our time, this is already 5:16, and our special guest is already here with us. I really want to appreciate him for joining in. So if you're online on Facebook, you can also join in. And I can tell you that this webinar promises to be a blessing to you. Permit me to quickly share one of my experience on Twitter. That's now X. I was trying to get some information as regards schooling abroad, and I contacted one of the prominent figures on Twitter who happens to consult for people, and he made a post while making an inquiry. He said something. I sent a message under the timeline. I said, "Oh, can I get more information on this?" And the next thing was, "Oh, send a DM to this handle. This is our handle that handles consultation." So while sending the DM, and I asked him, that was way back like 5 years ago, there about 5 years ago. And what he told me was surprising. He said, "Oh, to get your question answered, you're going to pay some of 30,000 naira consultation fees. That is just to consult." And I looked at it, I said, "Wow, well, that is his business. And I can tell you what you'll be getting here for free is what so many people pay for." So the best you can do for yourself is to take notes, listen to a facilitator, and ask questions, because I can tell you that it's going to be a blessing. And if you are interested in pursuing this, is something you can easily get. You can get, but you have to put in the work. So once again, I'll be handing over to our facilitator soon.
Yeah.
Don't forget, this program is being organized by the Christian Education Department of the Young Association. So, Mr. Auni, you're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I really appreciate the privilege and the honor given to me to be a speaker this afternoon. For me, my life has always been a life of impact. And wherever or whenever I have the opportunity, I always want to impact people's life. And that was why, for me, when the invitation came, it was, thing of my joy, because I've always been, doing things in order to reach out to people. So without further ado, I just want to dive down into the discussion, so to say. For me, I just want to start by encouraging us. Personally, I started my journey, in 2019. There was a kind of program that one honorable of the Federal House of Representative representing Badagry constituency. I can't remember the particular constituency. The honorable uh, Honorable Babatunde Nkpe allowed. Okay, thank you. So Honorable Babatunde Umpe was the one that organized this conference, and it was targeted at, you know, giving scholarship to people, most especially people that are from Badagry, to go and study abroad. So I was fortunate to attend this program. At the end of the day, at the end of the program, our names were collected and we started, the process. So this was what actually prompted me as a person to be able to say, "Oh, I want to go and study abroad." Actually, before this time, I personally had it interest in going abroad to, but not for the purpose of studying. I had started my Canada process, but it was taking longer than expected. So that was, the beginning of my study abroad project, and okay, and another thing is, this was when I started, gathering documents. We were told to submit our transcripts, write statement of purpose, and many other things. So it is all about you taking responsibility when you have an opportunity, you have an information. How well do you make use of this information? And this is what we are going to be sharing this afternoon. Now, there are so many school of thoughts, around going abroad to study. There are so many, many misconceptions around this. And this is where I'm going to be starting this discussion from. One, the Bible made us to understand the fact that my people perish for lack of knowledge. So many people, most especially Africans, precisely Nigerians, have, they are dying. Why? Because they don't have opportunity or access to information. They don't have people that will liberate them. They don't have people that will share information. I was on a forum last week and we were discussing something about, Nigerians, most especially Nigerians in diaspora. And the major bone of contention in that forum was that people in diaspora, they don't share information. They don't want others, they will say, "Oh, what your left hand must not know what the right hand is doing." And for me, I don't live my life like that. Whatever information that comes to my fingertips, I always want to share to enable people to benefit and enjoy whatever comes with it. So now, there are some people who are even overqualified, but they don't know. Some people are overqualified to go and study abroad, to even win scholarship, but they don't know they are. They don't know they are. They just sit there and they remain where they are. They don't bother, they don't even do anything in order to advance themselves. And why do we have this kind of people? It is because maybe some people are lazy, some people can't even go on research, depending on the kind of association that we keep. And number two, the second misconception is that uh, some people say, "Oh, I have a low grade. My grades are low. Are you sure I can leverage this opportunity? So with the kind of grade I have, I cannot benefit from a scholarship opportunity. I can't go abroad to study." For me, I want to debunk that notion this afternoon that your grade does not matter. Your grade does not matter. It doesn't matter, what grade you have. It doesn't matter, your situation. The most important thing is about you as a person. And I have a lot of scenarios, I have a lot of examples that I can give to us that will make you to understand the fact that your grade matters not. My mentor as a person is in Canada currently, and he had a third class in geography. He went to Canada to do his master's degree with his top class in artificial intelligence. And today he is cashing out. When I say cashing out, not just, in fact, there was a time we were, discussing, and I told him, I said, bro, what if you were invited to come and be a minister in Nigeria? The guy said, I better fuck up. I don't even want to do it. I would rather remain where I am. So that tells you, the kind of level he operates currently. That is number two. And number three, some people say, "Oh, okay, let me go to the other misconception." Now, when you look at these two factors that I've listed, some people have first class, yet they are still back home. They are not doing anything. In fact, you see some first class graduate riding Okada. Then some people tell you, "Oh, my grades are low, so I can't benefit." Now, due to these above factors, we have a lot of people, a lot of talents, wasting, in Africa. Some are in the classroom teaching, getting peanuts when you can, develop yourself and get something much more important. And another thing is some people, they lack what we call networking. I can bet you this program that we are hosting today, it's been advertising for, let me say more than 2 months. But many people will say, "Oh, what do they even have to say? What do they have to offer?" They won't leverage that kind of opportunity. Lack of networking. What are the kind of people or the circle or the group you belong to? The next one is not maximizing what they have. Some of us carry glory. Some of us carry a lot of opportunities, a lot of skills, a lot of potentials. Some of us are bundles of talent, but we are not maximizing it. And that is a factor that is limiting us to where we are today. Another thing I want to make mention before I proceed is that did you know that even with your bachelor's degree, you can get a PhD opportunity abroad? With your bachelor's degree, some people don't know, and that was why I started by saying my people perish for lack of knowledge. With your bachelor's degree, you can go abroad to go and do your PhD over there. Now, I will tell you and I will give you an example. In 2019, I got an opportunity in the United States of America to do my PhD, even as a bachelor's degree holder. Fully funded program, fully funded with health insurance, with accommodation, feeding, with my monthly stipend, and it comes with what we call a kind of package. I will be earning close to about $25,000 annually. Go and change that one in naira and tell me what it is. So with your bachelor's degree, you can go abroad and do what? And do your PhD. What did I do? I schedule, I sent an email to the professor in that department, and the woman looked at my profile with my CV, my transcript, and everything. And she said, "Oh, do you mind having a meeting with me?" And I said, "Fine." So I had an interview with this lady. She told me to present myself, and I did everything, my background, my work experience, and everything. At the end of the day, she was impressed and she said, "Oh, I'm going to give you an opportunity in my department." That is what we call research. It was because I made that research. Aside from that, aside from that, do you know that you can apply for masters, you know, in the UK, in the US, in Canada, even with your HND? That is very, very possible. Some people have had a lot of people reach out to me, say, bros, can we? I have HND, and this is my limitation. Are you sure I can, do something like this or something worthwhile with my HND? And I must tell you, absolutely yes. Absolutely, yes. It all depends on how you package yourself. It all depends on the way you present yourself. There are some people on the street of Lagos or wherever, they are selling Maggi, they are selling woshi. And at the end of the day, when you ask them what are they doing, they will tell you, I'm an entrepreneur. Isn't that wonderful? They will tell you, I'm an entrepreneur. Whatever you call it, he or she is what? Is an entrepreneur. So depends on the way you package yourself to the society, and that is àwọn Yorùbá máa ń sọ wípé pé bí alámọ̀ bá ṣe pe àmọ́ ẹ̀ náà ṣe máa ń bá pe I can't remember how that proverb, but I know many of us will understand what I'm trying to say. The way you present yourself, that is the way the world will perceive you. Are you getting me now? So now let's now go into who are those people that can apply to study abroad with a fully funded scholarship. Don't forget, there are different types of scholarship. Different types of scholarship. Please, if you have any question, you can be jotting down your question now, so that at the end of this session, we'll be able to, trash one of them. Now, there are different types of scholarship. We have what we call partial scholarship. We have fully funded scholarship. And there are some other scholarship that even with their fully funded, they will still come with some other, opportunities. Now, what do we mean by partial scholarship? Partial scholarship comes with only paying like half of your tuition fee. Half of your tuition fee, then you can be able to pay the rest. And there are some, they will still tell you their scholarships are partial, whereas they will pay your tuition fee fully, but they won't pay you stipends. Are you getting me now? Then there is what we call fully funded scholarship. A fully funded scholarship comes with, payment of your entire tuition fee, payment of your stipends, that's your living expenses. That is, eventually when you migrate, you are going to be paid, living expenses, your housing, your feeding, your transport, everything that comes with your living, in that particular country where you are going to be studying in. And aside from that, they're still going to be giving you some leverage, some different pays. When you are going for conference, they pay. When you are going to do this, they pay. You want to do one research or the other, this particular organization, they pay for, everything. They pay for everything. So that is, those are the different types of scholarship that we have. Now, let's go to the different categories of people who can apply for this opportunity. Number one, students. If you are a student, either you are an undergraduate student or you are a graduate or postgraduate student, you can apply for some of this scholarship and win it. I must tell you, we Nigerians will have a lot of potentials. We have a lot of potential. As I was discussing with my mentor sometimes like last week, and he was telling me that we Nigerians and the Indians, when we compete, we overpower them. Why? Because we are good at speaking English. We speak good English, but for them, I could remember an experience when I first came. You know, don't I did not even tell you. I came to the UK, I came to the UK on scholarship to do my master's degree. That was what brought me over here. So what I'm trying to say is, in class, there was this, Indian guy. We had a presentation to make, and it was his turn. Honestly speaking, throughout his presentation, I cannot make anything out of it. Why? Because I'm not. It's not that this guy is not good, but the communication skill is totally not there. So for us as Nigerians, our language of instruction, in fact, some children, before they even, enter into school, they already started speaking English. So that gives us an edge. There was another guy. There's another activist from South Africa. In fact, he contested for this their last election. He said, "Do you know why Nigerians, when they travel abroad, why they succeed? Why? Because Nigerians are too bold. We are too confident. You know, whatever comes, we don't fidget. We are not scared." And these are some of the advantages. And when it comes to managerial positions, Nigerians are good. You know, we can manage things, we can lead, we can do stuff. And these are some of the opportunities that we have, but we don't leverage. In the year 2020, during COVID-19, I volunteered with an organization in Nigeria, and I initiated a project because when I did a lot of research, I discovered that many of us in Nigeria, we are not maximizing our potentials. And the title of this project I implemented was leveraging international education for career advancement, you know, for career advancement. Now, when you leverage international education, it will help you to advance in your career. Either you are staying back in that country or you are going back to your home country. It will help you to advance yourself. And during this program, about 81 youth from across different African countries attended. And I must tell you that more than 15 of us, 15 that I know, are outside the country today. So that tells you the power of information. When the Indians are doing their own, they tell everybody. They tell their brothers, their sisters, their friends, everybody in their neighborhood, everybody in their circle. They tell them, oh, guys, this is the opportunity. This opportunity is available. This scholarship is available. Please, let's put us together. Let's do this together. And even when they eventually win this scholarship, when they get admission, they come to this advanced country, they still, have that networking spirit. They have that what do we call it? They have that community kind of lifestyle. They help themselves. But for us, when you hear that information, you keep it to yourself. When I hear that information, I keep it to myself. And this is why we limit our potentials. I did a research in the year 2021 trying to see the kind of, the number of Nigerians in Canada. And I discovered that Nigerians take the 12th position, globally. Out of people migrating to Canada for study, for permanent residence, and for stuff like that, we were in 12th position. That tells you that we still have a long way to go. We are not sharing information. Let's continue. I've told you, if you are an undergraduate, you are a master's degree holder or whatever, you can leverage this opportunity. Then if you are a researcher, it is an opportunity for you. You can leverage this opportunity and you get funding for your research work. You get funding for conferences and a lot of other opportunity. Then if you are a kind of professional, you are a professional, you are working with an organization, you can use that opportunity to apply for grant, to apply for scholarship, and you get it. Then I won't want to waste much time on this because I know majority of us fall under the class of students and undergraduate, graduate, and stuff like that. Then we have people who are in the creative industry. We have athletes, we have entrepreneurs, we have government employees, NGOs, international students, and stuff like that. So these people, they are qualified, to apply for scholarships to study abroad. Are we getting me? They are qualified. But what matters most is how did you package yourself? How did you package yourself? You can have a first class. You can have first class, and you compete with people without first class, with a third class, and you still don't get it. You still don't get it. So applying to study abroad to get funding is an art, and we need to master the art very, very well if we are going to get through to where we are going to. Now, as an undergraduate, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to start with this. As an undergraduate, what are the things, to win an undergraduate scholarship from Nigeria or wherever in the world? what are the eligibility criteria that I must have in order to be, eligible to compete for some of this scholarship? One, you must be a Nigerian or you must be an African, because there are some scholarship will tell you that, oh, this scholarship is targeting people from low income country. This scholarship is targeting people from what do we call it, from poor country, third world country. So if you are from that kind of a country or part of the world, you are eligible to apply for some of this scholarship. And aside from that, being an undergraduate, you must be between the age of 18 and 25, being an undergraduate. That is very, very important. Number three that you must have is academic achievement. Academic achievement. Although this one for me, although it's part of the general requirement, but when we are talking about academic achievement, you must be able to have good grades in your WAEC, in your NECO or wherever. You must have good grade because you are an undergraduate and it is believed that you are just coming from secondary school, you just want to enter into the university. So maybe you don't have, a lot of work experience. Therefore, you should be able to have good grades in order to prepare you to have, to be competitive. However, for students who are abroad, even right from 15 years, they're already working. How do I mean? They're already volunteering. They're already adding values to their CV that immediately after their secondary school, they have a good CV that they can even present to an employer that will offer them job. But back in Nigeria or in Africa, this kind of mentality, we don't have it. If they tell you come and serve in the church, you say no, that you don't want to waste your time. Come and serve in the mosque, you say no, you don't want to waste your time. Come and serve in the community where you live. You say no, you have something better to do. So these are some of the things that propel us, to get some of this opportunity. Another thing is you must have gained admission. You must have applied to a particular university and gained admission. Because for you to apply for scholarship, you need, admission into a particular university. That is very, very important. In 2021, when I gained my admission, when I applied to schools in the UK, I applied to several schools, about 7 schools, and I was lucky. I was admitted into all the 7 schools. But, later I got an information from a friend who told me, oh, bros, did you hear about this school? They are offering scholarship. I said, really? So immediately I applied and they told me that I cannot apply for their scholarship until when they give me admission. So before they gave me admission, before the admission came, I had already prepared all my documents for the scholarship because I didn't have time. I think I applied sometimes around May. The admission came towards June. So, and the school is starting in September. So I have to apply for my visa and other things. So there was no time. So I had already, some of the requirements for the scholarship, I had already prepared them. So immediately the admission came, I pushed in my I pushed in my application for the scholarship. Lo and behold, I was able to win the scholarship. Sometimes the good news came sometimes in July. So this is what trying to say is that you need an admission. You need to have been admitted into a particular school of interest. Then you can leverage scholarship opportunity. Before I go on, there are some schools abroad, they offer scholarship to their students. Some schools abroad, they offer scholarship. Once they give you admission, you have the opportunity to apply to some of their scholarship, and that was what I benefited from. However, there are some other external scholarship that people can benefit from, and this is where your research skills will come into play. This is where your research skills will come into play. You need to be, on top of your game. You need to be making research every now and then. How can I get scholarship to study abroad? This, that. These are some of the, you need to be conversant on LinkedIn. A lot of opportunities are on LinkedIn. People don't know. People don't know. You need to be, well versed with some of these, search engine because you are the one that needs something and you must be curious. You must be desirous. You must be intentional and strategic about your future, about what you want to become, about where you are going to. So it is very important that increase your research skills because you are going to study abroad. And most of this, let me tell you, most of this studying abroad, you don't even do exam. You don't sit down to write exam. Throughout my master's program, I didn't write one exam. However, there are a lot of research work that you have to be doing. So if you are not good at researching, if you are not good, it will become difficult for you when they give you a deadline. So this assessment is due in 2 weeks and you are unable to do your research. It becomes a problem for you. So you need to put on your research skills in order to do well before, during, and after this program. The next one is after gaining admission, then there is what we call the in-demand skills. Nowadays, everything we do, we need to be strategic. We need to be intentional about it. We don't just want to push ourselves to go and study anyhow course these days. Gone are those days that people just go and do dondology courses. Pardon my English. Gone are those days that people will just go and say, "Oh, I want to go and do psychology. I want to go and do sociology. I want to go and do educational management." I'm telling you, gone are those days. Those days are gone. So if you if you are looking forward to you want to get scholarship, there are although I'm not saying those courses are not good. Psychology is a good course, sociology is a good course. But if you are looking forward to securing what we call scholarship, you need to fall into high in demand skills. There are some courses that are relevant in today's society. And I must tell you, by the year 2030, some of these courses will be gone. They will be obsolete. I'm telling you, the world is driving towards tech. The world is driving towards, cloud engineering. And this is what you should be targeting yourself. Now, what are the courses that you should, focus your attention on? They are what we call the STEM courses. What do we mean by STEM? They are science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The courses around this, anyone is good for you. And if you are able to get, admitted to any of these courses, you are good to go. And what are some of these courses? Like data science, like business analysis, like project management, change management, artificial intelligence. You can see these days AI has taken over the world. AI has taken over, medicine and stuff like that. And a lot of, just go on Google, type what are the STEM courses. It will give you loads of those courses. And I must tell you, if you are admitted to any of those courses and you succeed eventually, it is going to be easy for you to navigate your way at the end of the day. So it is very, very important. Don't say, "Oh, they said we should get admission." Don't just go and get admission into anyhow course. Look for courses that you think is in demand in today's world. That is very, very important. And the next one, which is number 7 of the criteria that you need to meet, is what we call financial need. Financial need. You must be able to be in a position of people who need help. You must be able to show that you need help, that you are poor. And when we are saying poor, it's not about somebody who's a puppet, but that you cannot finance your studies. That's what I'm saying. So you must be able to show, and they will know. There is a way they know that, oh, this person actually need it. It's not that, have you ever seen children of Dangote looking for scholarship? Children of the president looking for scholarship? No, they don't give to them because they know they have the money. But these scholarships are for people like us, people like you and I. We need it more than they do. So that is why you must be able to, show that you are in financial need, demonstrate financial need, low income status. That is very, very important. Now, these are for people, aiming to study abroad. However, there are some, scholarship locally, even in Nigeria, locally, they will need your state of origin certificate. They want to prove that. They will need your what do we call it? They will need your what local government area. All these are very, very important. For people who are from the Niger Delta, there's this NDDC scholarship that they give to their indigene every now and then. Then I just told you one, from Badagry that I enrolled for. Unfortunately, the whole program became an issue, so I opted out. So there are some of these scholarships also internally back home that we can also, leverage and benefit from. Aside from that, generally speaking, there is what we call recommendation letter. You need recommendation letter from your past teachers, your past lecturers. They need to speak about you. They want to know, are you were you a truant? Were you good? Do you have good relationship? Are you a good student while you were there? So this is very, very important, and this is why you must learn to build quality relationship with people at every facet of your life. Quality relationship, in fact, there is a saying that says relationship is the latest currency. The latest currency is relationship, and if you want to do well in life, you need to build quality relationship with people. Don't forget, a teacher that you abused sometimes ago, now you need their help. You need them to recommend you. Tell me, what do you think they are going to write about you? So this is very, very key. You must be able to demonstrate to them that you have people who can vouch for you. And don't forget, if they can write well about you, honestly, it's going to make a great impact on your application. Another thing that is very, very crucial that you must prepare is what we call your WAEC or your NECO. I spoke about it, your grade. Either in your WAEC, your NECO, you must be able to demonstrate that yes, you have good grades. So those are some of the things that you need to enroll as an undergraduate. Your medical and health insurance. I think that one is just not very important. Now let's go down to the people applying to study at master's level. People applying to study at master's level, people applying to study at PhD level. Although many of the things I've spoken about, they are still relevant here. However, there are some different documents that you as a person you need to put forward in order to be able to show that yes, you are ready and qualified and you merit that opportunity. The first thing is you need to fill what we call scholarship application form. Scholarship application form. Don't forget, I said earlier that you must have gotten admission into whichever course, whichever university, you must have gotten admission. Therefore, having gotten an admission, you need to be able to fill the scholarship application form. This is the most important document, as it is where you will provide all the basic information about yourself. Your contact information, your academic history, the extracurricular activities that you have engaged in. Let me also say this. Back in the university, I was a kind of student. I was engaged in student union activities. And then some of even our lecturers, they used to see us as people who had no work, that we are not serious. Let me just put it that way. They used to say we are not serious. That is why we had time to be doing all those things. However, some of those experiences, they are some of the things I'm, benefiting from today. They are the things that are, helping me, whatever application I want to do. By the time I package everything together, that I was this, I was the general secretary of this, I was the leader of this, I was the president of this, I was before you know it, they see that, oh, this person, has been able to demonstrate a quality leadership skill. So that is very, very important. And number two, if you are going to apply, for master's degree or PhD, this number two is very, very, very key, and that is your transcript. You need your transcript to be able to show to these people. In fact, even at the point of applying for admission, you must have presented your transcript. This is very, very important. You cannot get admission without transcript. Although there are some exceptions, but on a large scale, your transcript is very, very important if you are going to, scale through. And I must tell you, to get transcript in Nigeria today is a tug of war. To get transcript in Nigeria today is a tug of war. In fact, I was discussing with somebody last some times ago, and the person said she was told that she should bring 500,000 naira if she wanted the transcript on time. I was like, really? Transcript, just student copy, not the one that they are going to send, to the school she's attending. And they said if she's going to send to another school, that she will be paying about 1.2 million. I just head my head. So people are now cashing out, from you know issue of transcript. I'm not scaring you, but I'm trying to let you know how difficult it is, because people know those schools, they know that people are now, they are now interested in studying abroad, going somewhere to study, and they are now using that opportunity to cash out. So if you are interested in, following this path, you need to start your journey. If you have never done so, start your journey right now. Get your transcript. It is very, very important. This they use transcript to assess your eligibility and your qualification for that scholarship. To obtain a transcript, you need to go and just visit your school. Maybe the I think the academic record department, they are responsible for issuing of certificate, issuing of transcript for prospective students. And this is very, and don't forget, you also need your certificate. So the two of them go hand in hand. Your certificate, your transcript, these two documents are very, very key if you really, really want to pursue this opportunity. Another vital document that you should be able to get, very important, is what we call the statement of purpose, which is otherwise known as SOP, statement of purpose. A statement of purpose is a document, that contains your personal and academic background and reason why you are applying for that program, reason why you are applying for that scholarship. You need to be creative enough. You need to be creative enough to write a convincing statement of purpose. You need to be very, very creative when you write this, and it is recommended that it should not be, beyond like one page, which is a minimum of 500 words, except if otherwise stated. So within this range, you must creatively convince, the scholarship committee that this is the reason why you are applying for this scholarship. These are the things you have done in the time past, and this is the reason why they should give you this scholarship. Do not forget, you are not the only one, applying for that scholarship. Thousands of people globally, they are also competing with you. So you need to be very, very serious when you are writing your statement of purpose. So this is a kind of separate topic on its own. Everything I'm doing here this afternoon or this evening, you know, they are just a general overview. Some of these things that I'm talking about, we need an in-depth understanding or an in-depth lesson to be able to know how do we write statement of purpose. The same thing goes to number 4, which is what we call a CV. CV is very, very important when you are applying for scholarship. It helps them to be able to know your professional and your educational background. It should include your work experience, your educational background, your skills, and your achievement. CV is not just ordinary. It plays a vital role in your academic journey, in your career, in whatever you are doing. Your CV is very important. Mind you, when you apply for to study or for scholarship, you don't just submit anyhow CV. The CV you submit for your employment is not what you submit when you are writing. I mean, when you are applying for scholarship. There is what we call academic CV. You need to write an academic CV in order for you to be able to be considered for this scholarship. And also we have and the way we write an academic CV is different from the way we write a professional CV. So this is another separate topic on its own. Another thing that you must take cognizance of when you are writing your CV is the fact that every country has their own CV format. If you are applying to study in Canada, Canada has its own format. The US has a almost same as Canada. But if you are coming to Europe, Europe has what we call Europass. Europa is a kind of CV that you use to apply for study or whatever scholarship when you are talking about Europe. So this is very important for you to take cognizance of when you are drafting your application. And also, like I've said earlier, letter of recommendation is very, very important. It's very some of your professors back in your undergraduate, you need them to write a compelling uh, recommendation letter. You need them to write a compelling recommendation letter for you when you are applying to study abroad. It is very, very important because it can make or mar your application. In fact, it can make the difference. Honestly speaking, it can make the difference. If they are able to write well about you that, oh, you have worked on this project with them, you were a good student when you were with them, you are this, you are, and they know how to write it. But it's not just writing just one single line and say, oh, they have written something for you. At least they should be able to like exhaust a full page when they are writing about you, telling them that you are going to be a good candidate on that particular program you are going to. And this can make your application to be successful. So make sure that you build the relationship. You have lecturers that you have built quality relationship with, and these are people that will be able to like vouch for you and say yes, you are a good candidate. Make sure to ask people, who are respected in their field and who can write strong letters on your behalf. However, apart from your past lecturers, there are some scholarship opportunities that will say, oh, we need both academic recommendation letter and professional recommendation letter. And this is where you are working comes in. Your supervisor, your line manager should also be able to write, letter of recommendation about you. This is also as important as your academic recommendation letter. The other thing that you need is you need an international passport. I think this is very, very important. You cannot say, oh, you have gotten your admission, you've gotten what do we call it? You've gotten your scholarship and every other thing, but you don't have a passport. How do you want to fly? So it is very important that you demonstrate to these people that yes, you are flight worthy. So you are ready once everything goes well. And mind you, when you are applying for your visa, you need your passport to apply for your visa. So it's very, very important for you. And don't forget, it also serves as your means of identification to these people for them to really, really say, oh, you said you are a Nigerian, you said you are a Kenyan. Then your international passport will be able to show that truly you are from the country that you have claimed you are from. Another thing that is very important, but not 100% important, depending on the situation, is what we call test of English fluency. That is proof of language proficiency. This is also very important. But there are some cases, most especially if you are coming to study in the UK, you don't even need proof of English fluency. You don't need it when you are because I didn't even submit anyone. Your WAEC only is good to take care of that. Also, if you are going to countries like Canada, you don't need so many 90% of schools in Canada don't even require uh, proof of English. I think US will ask you if you are going to the US, they will ask you that you should submit what we call TOEFL, to prove that yes, you can speak good English. However, it's still dependent on the school you are applying or you are going to study at. So there are so many schools that will waive it for you, because like the interaction we are having now, once they have an interview with you and you're able to show that oh you can speak good English, that is just what they want to establish. You can speak good English, you can write well. That is all they want to see, and I think that is that about that. Then what do we call the last one is what we call study plan. What do we mean by study plan? As a graduate student, you must be able to have what we call study plan. What do you want to go and study? Why do you want to go and study that program? And where are you going to study that program? What is the reason behind choosing that way? You know, so those are some of the things. And after completing that program, where are you heading back to? Do you want to go back to your country, or you want to stay back in that particular country where you are studying? For for us as an international student, it is expected for you to say you are going back to your home country. Like they say, you get why. It is expected for you to tell them, upon completion of this program, I'll be heading back to my home country to get this job, to get this job, to get this job, to do this, and also to go back to my people. So that is that. Then when you go back, what do you want to be doing? Which type of job do you want to be doing? So these are what we call study plan. Study plan. It should include, details about what you intend to study. When will you study it? And how do you want to embark on that? The process. And what are your goals upon completion of this program? Do you want to go back to Nigeria and maybe you already have somebody, one company promising you that, oh, if you can have a master's in artificial intelligence, there is a job waiting for you. And you must do a lot of research. Do we have the need for experts in AI in Nigeria? You must have done your research. Give a kind of percentage that, oh, Nigeria is actually suffering from a shortfall of people, experts in artificial intelligence. Or maybe you want to go and do project management. Say, oh, as at 2023, about 60% of projects in Nigeria failed due to lack of project management experts. And this is the reason why I want to go and study this course. So that when I complete this course, I'll be able to go back to my country to help the government to manage some of their projects and to be able to, generate more revenue into the covers of the government. Like I said earlier, it depends on how you are able to sell yourself. Are you a kind of person who has goal? Some people, they just want to go and study. Some people, they say, oh, I just want to japa. Are you getting me now? All these things are illegitimate. So you must be able to, write your study plan very, very well. And lastly, because I think I was given 1 hour, I think so. So now, please, you can let me know when I'm getting to maybe almost like 10 minutes so that I'll be able to rush my presentation.
All right, sir.
Yeah. So now, the stage I am now is, how do you increase your chances of winning a scholarship? This is very, very key and very, very important. How do you increase your chances? I've spoken to some of these factors before now, but I'll still address them one after the other. The first thing is very, very key is you must apply to a STEM program. A STEM program. Those are the high in demand courses in the world today. There are some courses, if you study them, if you go and study medicine in some country, they won't even look at you. Some country they don't need medicine. Why? Because artificial intelligence is taking over the world. Drug prescription, it's AI that is doing it. You need to do test, body test. It is AI that is doing it. So they don't need many of those. And if they need people, they would rather take their indigent, their citizens. So you have to start from day one before you even do anything. As you are applying for your transcript, you are already doing your research. Okay, which course is in demand that I can do as a person, that aligns with my passion, that aligns with my background or what I want to do in the future. So this is very, very important. Like I said earlier, please and please, enough and enough of dondologies. I want to go and study anthropologies. I want to go and study sociology. Those were, in those days. But today, in the society of today, we need to look into the future. I know many of us, including myself, we have failed. We just want to go to the university to go and do anything. We are tired of sitting at home. So we just chose any course and off we go. But you can still, retrace your step. If you did an undergraduate course that is not in demand today, that does not mean you should still keep doing it again and again. You can change. You can, switch your career. You can switch. So that is very important. And the next one is what we call relevant work experience. As a master's degree applicant, it is expected that you have relevant work experience. Although if you don't have, that does not mean that they are not going to give you. But I'm talking about what are those things that can increase your chances. So if you have relevant, for instance, somebody who wants to go and study project management, and already you're already working in a project environment, maybe in your church you are in charge of managing different projects in your church. It might be a volunteering in volunteering capacity. That is good. So relevant work experience is very, very important for you to increase your chances. Another thing is quality leadership experience. Quality leadership experience. It is very, very important, and this is where you have to demonstrate where you have been able to demonstrated leadership capacity. Maybe at work, maybe in your church, in your mosque, in your community, wherever. You must be able to demonstrate to them, show to them that, oh, I was a leader of the education department, I was a leader of discipleship department, I was a leader of the Sunday school department, I was a leader of this and that, I was a choir leader. So these are some of the things. Don't let me lie to you. That scholarship I won, okay, I'll still get there. Let me continue. So you must be able to show quality leadership experience in your school. Have you headed any group before? Were you into any organization, any society? This is where you now bring everything together. And the next one is leverage volunteering. Leverage volunteering. I know for a fact that many of us we don't like volunteering. We don't like to volunteer. And I must tell you, this is just a secret. I must tell you. These Oyinbo people, they like volunteering too much. Even when you are working, they will give you some days, to go and volunteer. They will give you some days, to go and volunteer. Maybe 1 day or 2 days in a year. They will give you because they understand that volunteering plays a dominant role in people's life. And this is what I actually wanted to say earlier. You know, when you look at it, that scholarship I won, the volunteering experience that I put together in my statement of purpose and on my CV, made difference. All the experience, the volunteering experience I had during my undergraduate, the one I had in my church, the one I had with an NGO I volunteered with, all these things put together made the difference. And I must tell you, so some people say, oh, me that I've not eaten, I will not go and be volunteering somewhere, something that they will not pay me. Everything is not about money. And don't forget, all that glitter is not gold. So there are certain things that we do in life in order to prepare a future for ourselves. What if I didn't do all those things in the time past? In fact, there are many things that I supposed to have done that I didn't do, that I was blaming myself, till today. But like Yoruba people will say, if you know when market will sell, eh, that's the day you go to market. Wọ́n lẹ́ni tó mọjọ́ òwò, òun ló mọjọ́ ikú. So if you know that, oh, today I'm going to make massive sale, that day you will not sleep at all. You will go to market, or maybe you know that, oh, well, if you go to work today, they are going to pay overtime. They are going to pay, additional. So what I'm trying to say is volunteering experience is very, very clear, and this is where you serving in your church becomes very, very important. When they call you, come and be the leader of the children department, come and be the youth leader, come and be youth coordinator, it becomes very relevant when you are now applying, to so many things. Even when you want to apply for your visa, the visa officer will want to see, because these advanced countries, they want to bring the best into their country. They don't want to bring people that will become, liabilities to them. They want to bring the best. And if you look at Nigeria today, there was a time when the doctors in Nigeria were on strike. They were on strike. What happened? The Saudi Arabian government came to Nigeria and they were recruiting them. They recruited about 500 doctors. I don't know if anybody, heard about this then. I think about 3 or 4 years ago. They recruited them and they took them away. They are taking our best brains. That's what we call brain drain. So they want the best. And this is where you'll be able to show them that, yes, you are one of the best Nigerians. You are one of the best. So if you are able to show them, they know that, oh, when you come to their country, you will also do what? You also volunteer and you help their community. Then there is the next one which follows is what we call community service. Community service. Some of us, when there is issue with our power supply and they call us to come, you go and hide or you say, tell them I'm not at home. Na only me, I be wetin happen. So, okay, thank you, sir. So what I'm trying to say is these are very, very key for you to be able to like boost your chances. Then another thing is we need to leverage online certifications. Online certification. There are many, numerous free courses online. Try Coursera, try Udemy, and a lot on LinkedIn that you can leverage. If you have all these things on your CV, they are going to make a lot of difference compared with somebody who doesn't have any. So that is very important. Then networking. Networking. Who are you networking with? Who is in your circle? Which group do you belong to? You know, this is very, very important. Another thing is conferences, attending conferences. If you are going for masters, you are going for PhD, these are going to be on your CV. How many conferences have you attended? How many conferences have you spoken at? You know, these are very, very important for you to be able to like increase your chances when you are applying for international study or scholarship. Then you need to join relevant groups, webinars such as what we're having now. Join webinars. This time we're having now, don't forget, some people are watching Chelsea and Man U. Some people are they are online watching Gist Lover, watching comedy, watching this and that, which we only take from you but will not add value to you. I always advise people, whatever is not going to add something positive to you, please don't do it. And whatever is not going to take something negative out of you, please don't do it. So these are valid points that uh, you need to take seriously. And last but not the least, you need good grace. Good grace. I put this one as the last point. Why? Because if you have all the ones I've mentioned before and you have a poor grade, I must tell you, you will be competitive. You will be competitive. If you have a top class, but you have good, leadership experience, you have volunteering experience, you have relevant work experience, you have, certifications. I'm telling you, you are competitive. They will pick you over that guy who has a first class without any experience. So this is very, very important because it is going to help you to be able to increase your chances. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. And I wish everyone all the best in your professional and academic pursuit. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Much. Now, some questions have been coming in.
Okay.
I'll be mentioning them. But before I go into the questions, for those who are just joining us or who will later watch this on Facebook, I want to let you know that Mr. Oluniyi Samuel Awoniyi is someone who is resident in the UK presently. And he's done with his masters, though. He's done with his masters. So he didn't tell. I want to just tell us the program too, because I know that he studied English language in Nigeria. So, what course did you study, so that people will also know what course did you study, sir?
Yeah, thank you. I apologies for that anyway. Personally, in Nigeria, I did English language, from LASU. However, I told you something during my presentation that many of us have made a lot of mistakes in the time past. Even while coming to the UK, I still made that mistake. I came to the UK, although I should say, some disappointments in life are blessings in disguise. Because of the company I was volunteering with then, so I saw that company, it's an NGO, and I saw a lot of potential working with an NGO, which I believe if I am able to, do a course that relates with NGO, it will prepare me, even, working with the United Nations, with all those UNESCO and stuff like that. So I came to the UK. I did a master's degree in international development. International development. That was what my master's degree was in, and I thank God for His faithfulness. So far, so good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Now to the first question. Someone is asking that what